Welcome back, guys, to Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney, where we're asked to provide evidence that shows that the killer wasn't a blind young boy. Surely the gun is enough because it would destroy his arm socket, but that is not true. The question of his sight is the real question indeed. We've accepted the prosecution's challenge to prove that the killer was sighted, not blind, as Matthew Tobey is. How many times can I repeat myself? Let's move on. As I knew you would have, Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim the shooter couldn't see. Well, we decided at the end of last episode that by eliminating everything, it must be the crime photo. What was LeTouse writing? And more to the point, it's wiped away, isn't it? Unless it's in Borginian. This is that evidence. The photograph of the crime scene. I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face, but this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. You're not the judge. Doing your best judge impression. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well. Show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction of the scene of the crime is... Well, it's that. Definitely up the top. What we just discussed. The contradiction is right here. Smeared bloodstains. I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I've seen so many times in this court. It's almost as if you wrote something. Ah, I get it. At least, I think I get it. Get what, Fraulein? When Mr. LeTouse was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in it but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Neither would I. No one has anything else to say? About what? So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim's making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. LeTouse was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Wait. Once he saw what it was? What did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! You really not get it? Yeah, the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Matthew Tobey, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible! Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means! I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear the shooter could see. He had up until now. It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us. I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective. If I may. What? Tell me, why do you think that Matthew Tobey is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course. He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamiroir lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Matthew Tobey. According to this, Matthew Tobey Can see perfectly well. What? It'd be hard to be a pianist if you didn't. Of course, there are people that can, that's for sure. But a child prodigy pianist that can, that's a bit more of an improbability. His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. Ah, so just like a certain Lamiroir not being able to speak anything but Borginian? He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Hair forehead. Not once in the course of this trial how I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fraulein Detective. But that's... a significant fact, yes. Consider Machito Bay Seas. And he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this. What about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Ah, how's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. Ah, this is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead. Yeah! Why? Why is it always woe is me? I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize! Oh, sorry. Has no way to apologize. He's angered the trucy now. Look out! If we can please end the bickering now. Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant. Don't say that. Aha! What? This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes. I might be able to find out what was really written here. Really? You can do that? That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Ah, yes. Have we done those tests yet? Ha! So I'm going to tell you. The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Right, go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere. I've heard of it many times. Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it. Sure. Go to the small screen. Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just touch the screen, spray an area. Here, give it a try. The eyes of the entire court are focused on me. Apollo, your hand's shaking. Let's do this. Right, spray it. We know it's just going to be on the blood stain itself. IPX X314206. 1 I. What? What does it even mean? Wow, it really works. That's not a name. This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name? No. Maybe it is. If the killer was a robot. Haha. I have it. So what is it? I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? Yes. Most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. Why would he write that number? Why would Mr. LeTouse even know a number like that? Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on. Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Diane, are you there? Come up to the witnesses stand. Diane, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. That's very specific. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent, Oh wait, I know. What if Machitobe's really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility. No, he's a kid.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why didn't the twos know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have some time while we wait for Diane's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machitobe.
What are you talking about?
Fraulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until that last bit.
Does this not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Hair Forehead?
Huh? Me?
Machitobe pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? No, the moment I heard that report, I knew why. I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Machitobe pretended to be blind. But it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now?
It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness?
Yes. Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see. Which means, no, it couldn't be. If two people are led by the hand at all times, but the one that's being led because he's blind isn't blind, then could it be the reverse?
Good show, Hair Forehead. It seems you've thought of something.
Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I'd have to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. Right. So we've learnt that the Bulgarian government has more or less made a complete false duo that are not what they seem. One can speak English and isn't so mysteriously Bulgarian. One isn't blind, but is pretending to be blind, leading round someone by the hand who probably is and didn't see a thing, but probably did hear something maybe. She was in the room from the door, but backed out, I don't know. It's very confusing, but it's quite obvious to see that we're probably looking the other way round right now. So if the Bulgarian government is creating a complete facade to what their characters are, then to add to said facade would be the sight-seeing music, painting a landscape of visages she's seen. They've really built this up, probably based on the fact that she was blind to begin with. Machi was probably matched exactly with that not being able to see gimmick, to distract from her not being able to see, so they could sell this kind of thing. It's just all a big fraud, really, isn't it? It is that indeed. Great. That is Lamiroir. Lamiroir and Machitobe. Recall their relationship, in particular their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamiroir and a pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would wait all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go. All times? Yet we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time? Well, wasn't it part of their, performance? I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really, it was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lamiroir. What's this? So you mean to say that Lamiroir she's... Yes, Your Honor. Lamiroir is blind. What?
Order, order, order! This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin! Is it now? Please shed some sanity on this madness! The defense has made an outrageous claim. The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain. This time. He's quite correct. But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lamiroir herself? This is going to completely destroy... The Bulgarian government's not going to be happy. Really isn't. I believe she's still in the witness waiting room.
Apollo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see.
I hadn't even imagined it up until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lamiroir. Lamiroir, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way, and yet I must.
Please, do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes, she really can't see? Really? It is true. How funny it is that a tiny light born in the beginning countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are?
Yes, as I mentioned before. I have no memory of the time before I became Lamiroir. Know too that my memories begin in darkness. The world light has no meaning for Lamiroir.
I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial there, Forehead.
What's that?
I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses.
Ah.
Now, Lamiroir, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes?
Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes. Yes, of course. Though I admit I am a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor. And so we testify about Lamiroir's eyes.
I had no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
But this is a murder trial.
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would...
She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing. Very well. Does the defense have anything to add? I'd like to cross-examine.
But what is there left to ask?
There was one thing in the testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness. Okay. There's only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy.
Which part did you spot, Apollo? Probably the last one. I have no memory of the light.
So you don't know why you went blind?
I do not. I may have been born this way, in fact.
It's foolish to attempt to pry into a past. And I might add, it's a delicate subject. I'm not sure we can reasonably expect Mr. Justice to do anything delicately. Hey, why are you order? Take a deep breath and calm down.
What am I now is all that I have. It is enough, I think. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound.
Weren't you nervous to hit the stage in your condition?
No, not at all, surprisingly. It felt natural, singing in front of everyone.
It's not something just anyone can do. She has talent, that much is quite clear. You might even say she's beloved by the gods of music.
Even without light, I live perfectly happy in my world of sound. If that is a talent, as you say, then I thank the gods responsible.
What about your PR motto?
My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this.
Perhaps your music reminded him of the Bulgarian scenery.
No, it was quite the opposite.
The opposite?
According to my producer, my music has a certain global quality.
Global?
Multicultural, if you will. Hard to pin to one region. When people listen to it, they picture the country closest to their hearts. which is why my music has reached so many. What a lovely story.
It sounds like this producer might have known what he was doing after all.
My songs are nothing more than a white canvas. To me, the real landscape painter are the listeners. When I think of that, I do not mind how I am represented to the world so much. Yet one thing quickly led to another. So silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see.
Was that to protect your image as a landscape painter in sound?
That does not matter so much to me, really. But the label is quite concerned about it, I think. A landscape painter who can't see. That's like a pianist who can't play, huh?
I'm not sure you can compare your father to Lamiroir.
The world of commercial music is filled with these little white lies.
Yeah.
Nothing is sacred when it comes to publicity. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
So everyone on your staff knew? But no others. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. LeTouse?
Of course, he was my manager. So he knew.
And that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You're thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yes, I was. He's alive. Mr. LeTouse, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold.
Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
Of course, we know by many times I've seen this scene he wasn't fine.
Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. LeTouse. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren.
Maybe he could see, and he's saying he can't see as to who it was.
Mr. LeTouse told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind.
I don't know.
What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself.
Was she really at the window? Wait a second. So he saw her at the window and knew that she would hear? So was she really there?
That could actually be. Wasn't shot from the window then, I'm just an idiot.
That could be really the case. If he was facing that way, he would have seen her. So he would have known. That's quite interesting. Meaning what?
There was no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more. Hello, witness. A siren? We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not what I refer. I mean what he said before that.
Before? What came before that?
Ah! That's right, he tried to tell you. When he said, can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. I see! Too bad the defense did not. Well, Herr Forehead, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time.
Ah. Well, I just got it myself.
Order, order, order! Recall Lamiroir's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage air exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
But you couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that. That is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. LeTouse witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness?
Ah. But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots and the man's voice.
Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We've already run a simulation, of course.
But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor! What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here? We have the results back from the investigation. The investigation? Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. LeTouse left us. Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescend, your report, please. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Diane. Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent? IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain LeTouse. Oh, what? An undercover Interpol agent was Mr. LeTouse himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation.
So when he wrote those letters,
he was trying to tell us his own identity, and a cautious killer tried to wipe him away.
Mr. LeTouse was an undercover Interpol agent, so him being Lamiroir's manager
was just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that 45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain LeTouse. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number on the revolver matched.
I just put something together in my head involving music.
Right, you'll see what I mean if you don't already. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver.
So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's got to tie in somehow, you'd think.
Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescend. It's a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out.
And this is what I just put together. It's involving this that I knew was about to just happen. Just because the line said before. Wait!
Lamiroir, is something the matter?
That voice just now.
Diane?
Mr. Diane, is it? It was him. I'm sure of it.
It was him? You aren't saying...
That voice I heard, talking to Mr. LeTouse, when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him! It was Mr. Diane!
Is this some kind of a joke? What? You just turned him into a weird guitar! No way. The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day you get an accusation like that one. Lamiroir fingering Diane Crescend. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. Could it really have been his voice Lamiroir heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it.
Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo.
I'm sorry, I'm not very professional. Sorry. I know it means that too, but sorry. I'm juvenile, I admit it. As we come to the end of the trial, possibly another day of investigation, or will we continue on in the courtroom next time on Apollo Justice? I'm sorry for laughing. I really am. That's very juvenile of me. Right. There's something that really twigged for me, and I knew that that was about to happen because there's a few people involved with this case. So at that point in time, and she heard a voice, and she said that she heard someone and she would definitely know who it was. There was only 2 other people it could be. One of them, we have no clue who they are, but the other one had access to so much on that night. Let's find out more next time on Apollo Justice, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.